Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of CNB. I'm Siddharth Vinayak Partnkar, coming to you this week from the Frankfurt Auto Show. Happens once every 2 years, brings us a lot of big news, and of course, as is tradition, we will start off with a look at the Germans. It's their home market, it is their home show, and so you get to see things like this. The Concept X7 from BMW is where we're kicking things off from. The BMW X7 will be the flagship SUV from the company, with the production version due to look quite similar to this concept. This will also be the first BMW SUV with 7 seats, and it will take on the likes of the Mercedes GLS, Land Rover Discovery and the Audi Q7. The X7 will come packed with technology and has a new interior design language, and will also sport BMW's new premium black and white badge instead of the familiar blue and white. Certainly a car that's being discussed a lot here at the IAA. It is the new BMW i Vision Dynamics. Now, it's a concept car, it looks like one, but the styling very much inspired by what we saw from the Vision Next 100 Years concept as well. So, points to the future of BMW design? Yes, most definitely it does. You can take a look at the way the kidney grille has been finished, and of course the sharpness on the headlamps. Come around the side and then you start to hear a different sort of a tune as well, because here you finally get to see the car that's going to sit between the BMW i3 and the i8. So we don't know what they're going to call it yet. i5 is doing the rounds. But the production car, it will come, says BMW, though it's still maybe 3 or 4 years away. Perhaps one of the upcoming Frankfurt Motor Shows is where we get to see it making its production debut. And better believe it, it will. And not only will it make it to production, it will also have a long driving range, promises the management at BMW. BMW's electric city runabout, the i3, also gets a major update. Along with minor changes in the exterior design and a new set of colors, the i3S also has a range of 200 kilometers with a more powerful 184 bhp 270 Nm electric motor. It isn't all electric cars at the BMW stand though, as the motor show plays host to the public debut of the new BMW M5. Packing 590 horses under the hood from a 4.4-litre V8 engine, the new M5 also features all-wheel drive for the first time. And yes, this is coming to India. Another car that will make it to India is the new 6 Series GT. Now it is this back seat of the 6 GT that's going to become the main point of focus, because of course India and China are chauffeur-driven markets, and that's something that will come into consideration when it comes to this car and future buyers. Now in India it takes on a little bit of a special turn, because we've also had the E-Class, which is the long wheelbase drive-in, and then we had the 5 Series, and everybody said, hey, why aren't you bringing us the long wheelbase? Well, there you go. That's pretty much the answer to that question. You'll have the 5 Series and you'll also have the 6 GT, in a sense going at the same market from 2 different ends. The Bavarian automaker showcased its latest entrant to the World Endurance Series, the new M8 GTE. Based on the M8 concept that is due to make production soon, the new M8 GTE will take on the likes of the Porsche 911 and the Ferrari 488. Significant model debut from BMW, of course, and the new X3 will definitely come to our market next year. We promised this car. It is, of course, significant because it's an SUV, it's fairly compact, and I don't have to tell you how relevant that becomes. Now, lots has changed with this car, and still some things haven't. In terms of shape and proportion, it still maintains that SAV character of the last car, but it's a lot more beautiful. However, a huge wide kidney grille up front represents the new sort of design language you're getting from BMW. It's finished in a dull metal, and this is the X3 M40i, so it has the M trim, if you will. And what that gives you is a slightly sportier profile, larger tires as well and wheels, and the color is Phytonic blue. So it's not specific just to the M, you can get it across the range, I've been assured. This is the 3-litre petrol that's here on display with the M40i. That's about 360 horses, 500 Nm of torque. But don't forget, there'll also be the 2-litre and the 3-litre diesel engines. And in India, we're likely to start off with all three. It isn't just parent brand BMW showcasing its electric cars, but also Mini. The German-owned British automaker has been very serious about an all-electric Mini for some time now, and this concept version will make it to production next year. I hope those funky tail lights that look like the Union Jack make it to production too. And now the car that everyone has been waiting for, the superstar of the Frankfurt Auto Show, the Mercedes-AMG Project One. Let's quickly give you some numbers. A 1.6-litre turbocharged V6 Formula One engine that revs up to 11,000 RPM, 4 electric motors, a combined 1,000 bhp, and it weighs only 1,000 kilos, giving it a 1:1 power ratio. The hypercar also features complete carbon fiber construction, including a carbon tub, along with active aerodynamics around the front and rear. The Project One goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 6 seconds and on to a top speed of 350 kilometers per hour. Only 275 of these, with a base price of 2.23 million euros, are being made. That's a staggering 17 crore 40 lakh rupees. And yes, all of them are already sold. As with every manufacturer though, the real innovation at the Mercedes-Benz stall is with the new electric sub-brand and its concept, the EQA. The new EQA hatchback, when it makes it to production in 2020, will have a driving range in excess of 400 kilometers. Apart from the electric technology, the EQA also showcases the upcoming design language at the Mercedes-Benz family. The S-Class has been the best-selling luxury limousine for a while now, and it's only natural that it would get the latest electrified tech. The S560e can go about 50 kilometers on pure electric power, as the new 13.5 kilowatt-hour lithium batteries are more powerful than the predecessors. Now, at the Audi summit a few weeks ago, the big news was not just the A8 sedan, but also the fact that Audi has almost like a new sub-brand that's starting to brew. It's not being called one yet, but it certainly points to a different kind of future. I'm talking about AI, which is artificial intelligence to most, but autonomous intelligence to Audi in many ways. And this car really represents that. It looks like a concept today, but it's probably going to be reality sooner than you think. It is all electric. It does have semi-autonomous features as well. And look at the shape and size of it. It's a coupe SUV, so it kind of hits the sweet spot when it comes to what customers are really looking for. The name is Elaine. The target for this car, very squarely, is the Tesla brand. And then there's this. Audi's first Level 5 autonomous car concept. The icon also includes the letters AI in its name, and more than its exterior design, it's the interior that gets really exciting. So another surprise from Audi, we're starting to see that AI show up in the names, in the Elaine, in the icon. This is very obviously a concept car, but look closely and you start to see not just the design cues of a completely new family look, a new design language if you will, but also the kind of products people are going to want in the future. It still remains a premium car, it is still autonomous, and it gives you a massive range when it comes to driving, or should I say being driven. So it looks like an armchair because I'm supposed to feel like I am inside my living room and not really inside my car. And to tell us more about the Icon and what this interior space represents, we've got Sophie here who's going to give us a few details. So, have I got that right? Am I supposed to relax and be comfortable?
Yeah, you are supposed to relax here because you have so much space in here. So the exterior is really like quattro, but the interior is really roomy and really cozy and nice. So from interface design, we try to find a solution to still interact with the car. But how do you do it when you cannot reach the front or you cannot touch in the front because you have always to move? So we try some special things here, and I think it's really good done. For example, we have the natural speaking interaction. You can talk to Pia, and Pia is our artificial intelligence in the front. You can also touch by the side panels here, for example, or you can do it by eye tracking. And eye tracking is really, really interesting, and I think I want to show that to you. So Pia is talking to you, and you think, okay, yeah, you talk a lot, but at the moment I want to be a little bit more calm. So you can put her to introvert, and then she is talking not so much anymore. And when you put her to introvert, she just go smaller and just quits the sentence. So as you can see, when you focus a point, it starts to highlight the icon. And it's really working. So by tap on the side, you can just go in and still interact by eye tracking. And that's really nice because when you go to the relaxed position, for example, then the seat go back, you can still interact with the system. And that was a success for us because we tried to find something that interacts with you, but it follows you and anticipates with you.
It isn't all concepts though at Audi, as there's the R8 V10 RWS on the stands. The R8 rear-wheel drive is all about giving the driver a race car-like experience. The car is powered by the R8's regular 5.2 V10 with 538 brake horsepower. It will be available in the coupe and spider body styles. It's pretty exclusive too, as the production run will be limited to just 999 units. Audi also brought a car that it won't be selling in limited units, and that's the RS4 Avant. It gets a 2.9-litre V6 bi-turbo TFSI engine, which makes close to 450 bhp and 600 Nm of peak torque. It does get quattro all-wheel drive. It is 80 kilos lighter than its predecessor and goes 0 to 100 in just 4.1 seconds. That's seriously fast. Probably not as fast as this one. Yup, it's the Lamborghini Aventador S, and the car maker decided that it didn't need to hide the sky anymore, which is why it now comes in the roadster form. It goes from 0 to 100 in 3 seconds, has a top speed of 350 km per hour. There's 730 bhp on offer, and looking at those numbers, it looks good enough to fly in. Bentley is showcasing the third generation of the Continental GT that's designed, engineered and built in Britain. It weighs around 2,250 kilos, but that 6-litre W12 engine propels it from 0 to 100 in 3.7 seconds. With 626 bhp on tap, the Continental GT can hit a top speed of 333 km per hour. Bentley has also promised that it's working on a plug-in hybrid model of the new Continental GT and will be ready with that in the near future. What's more, it's built on VW's modular MLB platform that's shared with the new Porsche Cayenne Turbo. Porsche says the new Cayenne blends the precision of a sports car, the comfort of a saloon, and the adaptability of an off-road vehicle. Powering the SUV is a 4-litre V8 bi-turbo that produces 542 bhp, 29 more than before. 0 to 100 is achieved in 3.9 seconds. The performance SUV also benefits from rear axle steering, roll stabilization and Porsche's Vectoring Plus system. There are 5 different modes for tarmac and off-roading, and yes, that means you can take it off-road. Replacing a very capable off-roader, the Skoda Yeti, is this one, the Karoq. It's based on the MQB platform and shares most of its styling with Big Brother Kodiaq. The front is typically Skoda with a large grille and it gets vertical slats, while the rear shares design cues with the superb sedan. There are 4 new engines on offer that includes 2 new petrols and 2 diesels, and yes, it is likely to come to India, though only next year. The ID Cross concept is a sporty zero-emission SUV from Volkswagen that's designed to be interactive. Output is stated at 301 bhp and the top speed is 180 km per hour, while the driving range is up to 500 km on a single charge. The high-performance battery can be charged to 80% of its energy capacity in 30 minutes using a fast charging system. VW plans to have 1 in 3 electric models from 2020, and by 2025 it aims to offer around 23 all-electric models in its lineup. The T-Roc compact SUV finally made its debut at Frankfurt. It's also based on the MQB platform and will sit below the Tiguan in the company's product lineup. The 5-seater crossover looks funky and very urban, and it gets off-road credentials thanks to black plastic cladding across the wheel arches and side sills. There's a good chance it will come to India to take on the likes of the Jeep Compass, Hyundai Creta and even the Skoda Karoq. Or so we hope anyway. For all the future concepts and all the talk of usability, there isn't a more relevant product on the VW stand than this car. I mean, how perfect would this be for our market in terms of shape, size, attribute and looks? In its 6th generation, the new Polo looks young and better than its predecessor. It too is based on MQB, which is why it's longer, wider and has more space than the previous gen. The major changes though are on the inside, as the Polo gets a whole new generation of infotainment. It's all digital and it's something similar to Audi's virtual cockpit. The 67th Frankfurt Auto Show has a whole bunch of brand new concepts and cars on display, but this one is most certainly the cutest and also one of the most talked about. The Honda Urban EV concept is a hark back to the first ever Civic from the 1970s and looks very cool with its simple retro design language and wide wheel arch stance. The interior is very simple as well and features a huge touchscreen mounted on a wooden dashboard. Honda has confirmed that this will make it to production with very similar design language to take on the likes of the electric Mini and the Fiat 500e as a European model for starters. Jaguar showcased the I-Pace all-electric SUV last year, and so this year we are getting a race car version. This e-SUV features a racing suspension, wheels and tires, a roll cage, and is also powered by lithium-ion batteries with 4 independent electric motors that will make close to 400 bhp. 0 to 100 times are supposed to be under 4 seconds, and it also gets its own race series.
I think it's going to be incredibly exciting. We really are looking at attracting, I'm sure, some real talent from around the world. In principle, this is a great opportunity for drivers who want to race an electric vehicle who haven't had chance until now to do it for the first time. But also, young drivers who have a future and see a future in racing battery electric vehicles, all of a sudden the platform to showcase their skills and ability on the streets, on the circuits that they could race in Formula E in one day. So from that perspective, it creates a very exciting prospect. We'll essentially run and control all the cars, so it takes away any kind of concerns about equality, so really equal playing field for everybody. And we're really excited about what this also brings to Formula E. The whole championship is gaining a huge amount of momentum and interest, with lots of competition from new competitors joining. But it's fantastic we now have a support championship that's not only a world first, but really will be a high-profile series that is fully international and embraces this new technology.
Now, for quite some time, everything new coming out of Land Rover has been really appreciated for its great looks, and perhaps the Discovery that just came out a short while ago is one of the few cars you may have thought, just had a utilitarian design, not necessarily really sexy, but the SVX changes all that. The SVX is essentially the performance version of the Discovery and has been tuned by Land Rover's Special Vehicles division. Apart from the added sportier styling bits and orange accents, the full-size SUV gets a 5-litre supercharged V8 with 517 horses and an improved suspension. But what is more relevant to India is back on the Jaguar side with the E-Pace. The compact luxury SUV will take on the likes of the Audi Q3, Mercedes-Benz GLA and BMW X1. The E-Pace is expected to be the car to notch up big sales for Jaguar worldwide. The design is very influenced by the F-Type sports car, and the E-Pace will use Ingenium petrol and diesel engines, with an Indian debut expected sometime in 2018. Now, of course, the next big thing is the compact E-Pace, and there's a lot of talk, of course, also about what's happening on the electric side of things with all the big announcements, and so it wasn't a surprise to see all the attention that Jaguar Land Rover got, as usual, at a global motor show. Tell us what you thought of everything we've showed you today and react to these cars and the big announcements as well. You know how you can get in touch with us, and promise me you'll wear your seatbelts and join us next week. Bye-bye.